Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. And in today's video, we have a number of topics to discuss. As always, we have the new and upcoming event, the Solstice of Heroes, as well as we have Arms Week this week, if you haven't had a chance to play very much. Interesting event, and Arms Week will definitely be, I think, a thing we see more in the future. Solstice of Heroes will also be getting a pretty big update. We also had the TWID or TWAB today, where though it was a fairly light TWAB, they did discuss a few patches, one particularly affecting Crucible. We also have the new Crucible playlist, and there are some broken things that you probably want to make note of if you're planning on jumping in there. Might give you an advantage, also might help you understand why you're getting whomped by certain classes. We also have a couple of power farm things that I think will be very helpful for my solo players out there. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to post notification so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, any of those things also enter you into any future giveaways on this channel. We do one every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. And when we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away a new console or a video card if you play on PC. Almost 70% of those who watch my channel regularly are still not subscribed, so if you would like to support the channel, that is the easiest way to do so, and it is also free, remember. Free to subscribe on YouTube. If you do wish to contribute a little bit more, you can always become a channel member, or you can leave a tip or donation on the channel. It's all very much appreciated, and of course, I'll have a few shout-outs of those who have contributed to the channel at the end of the video. But first off, Trials will be returning tomorrow, and it's going to be a bit different than normal. There will be no featured weapon for Trials anymore, but we are going to be getting a new weapon, and something very similar to what we've seen for Arms Week in a now kinetic shotgun hand cannon. So a spread shot hand cannon. We've already seen one this week, and we are going to see another, but this one will be in the kinetic slot. So I think it's going to be a full kinetic weapon, which is interesting because kinetics do have a few added perks when playing PvE activities. So be on the lookout for that. But if you haven't had a chance to head over to 81 and play any of the Arms Week this week, I would really recommend just going over to the workbench and picking up the current shotgun hand cannon, because it is absolutely amazing. I have a few great rolls here that I just wanted to show a little bit. I have this one for more of a PvP focused roll with slide shot and frenzy. Slide shot really helps because the reload on hand cannons is always a little bit slow, and this sort of helps you jump over all of that. Frenzy is just a great perk to have. I'm sure there could be a better one, but I also like the origin trait, Tenacity. This is good for both PvP and PvE. Mine had a range masterwork, or excuse me, a handling masterwork on it. I'm using the new exotic mod, Cowboy Grip, which is available through Arms Week, and some of these mods are absolutely ridiculous and broken in the case of the new Crucible playlist, which removes all grenades, specials, as well as your super. So it's all just gunplay. Figure that's something that Bungie does really well. So it's kind of odd that we had to wait almost a decade to get a playlist that is specifically focused on the thing that Bungie does absolutely best. But I have been loving it. So if you're not a Crucible player, actively I would jump into that playlist because it is just a lot of fun. But definitely pick one of these up. I also have another roll, which is more of a PvE focused roll. Actually, I have a couple of PvE focused rolls. This one with Incandescent, but this one with 1-2 Punch. Now, 1-2 Punch on this hand cannon is certainly not as strong as the one on a shotgun, but it is pretty close. And with the amount of frequency you get, just having more rounds in the clip and being able to have it on a primary, it definitely pays dividends. So worth picking up a 1-2 Punch if you are planning on playing Arms Week at all. Try to look for that roll. The workbench is a little bit weird. Just keep that in mind, that you can buy engrams from A to 1 and actually go and decrypt them at Master Raoul. So that will save you a little bit in terms of the cost with combat telemetry, which is the currency for this event. Whereas if you go to the workbench, you can, of course, just buy one, but you have to pick up an engram first. So when you buy this engram, it will not decrypt. It will just be an arms weak engram. You can then take it anywhere where you can decrypt engrams like Master Raoul, and you'll get random rolls on it. But it can be anything here in the workbench. So if you just buy an engram, it will be any one of these weapons or possibly the new weapons. But also, if you look on the focused page, you can see you can get holofoils on both the new hand cannon as well as the ribbon tail trace rifle, which I think has been understated how good this actually is for both PvE and PvP. So worth picking up both of these. But if you want to focus them, you have to buy an engram first. If you're looking for just random rolls on any of these weapons, you can buy it. It'll save you the cost of having to buy the engram and then purchase the combat telemetry with the focused engram for the new exotics. As you can see, it's going to be whatever the primary engram is plus the focusing cost. As far as the featured or focused decoding weapons here are concerned, I would say that this hand cannon, which is a 180, the Sightline Survey, is actually really, really good. 180s are very good at the moment, and with the right roll, this can actually 3-tap. The new hand cannon can actually 2-tap, so I think this in combination might be a decent one. But again, remember, if you don't want to spend extra costs for combat telemetry, you can just buy them and then hopefully get the roll that you want through focusing at, or excuse me, from decoding at Master Raoul. So that's one thing I wanted to discuss. It's a very good week to farm any hand cannon, and Arms Week, I think, is actually a really, really fun event. In terms of the new playlist, which if you go to the portal, you can actually see it under Crucible. It is here, hardwired, but you can also just go to the Arms Week event, and it should be here under Play Now. You can select it either way. I haven't seen any advantage or disadvantage necessarily from entering through either one of these portals, though I would say maybe select the one through the Arms Week portal. Now, there's nothing that I have as far as information that would say that this is true, but there has been different things in the past where if you didn't go through the necessary steps in terms of loading into an activity, so for example, selecting Arms Week versus just selecting Crucible, sometimes you don't get the rewards that you're supposed to be getting. So just select it from here just to be safe, because occasionally those things have a chance to bug out. But overall, I would also say that power farming through the Crucible is actually very viable at the moment, especially in this playlist. And it's just fun. I've been having actually a lot of fun just power farming through playing the Crucible, especially with the new shotgun hand cannon. I'm actually really looking forward to trying out the other shotgun hand cannon when it drops from Trials. Another reward that you might want to be on the lookout for is the returned memory. Now, this is a rocket-assisted sidearm, and it can roll with all the same stuff the Indebted Kindness could also roll with, but now you will get the enhanced perks on it. It is essentially the same weapon. So also worth picking up, and I think you can only get this through just playing the hardwire activity. But this one with beacon rounds as well as incandescent. You can actually get it with heel clip and incandescent, which is, I think, the god roll for Indebted Kindness. But this one, even with beacon rounds, incandescent, and high explosive ordnance, is certainly going to be one of my go-tos for PvE at the moment. And in terms of PvE, there is another thing that is very, very broken, and that is this exotic, the Divinity. Now, if you don't have the Divinity, you have to get it through the Garden of Salvation raid. It is not a drop from the Garden of Salvation. It is an actual quest that you have to do in order to actually get this. And though it's a little bit arduous, it is very much worth it. This weapon was very much nerfed a while back, but with the current artifact mods, specifically This one, the Elemental Daze, stunning a champion with an elemental weapon, creates an elemental aligned explosion, applying a matching elemental debuff to them and nearby targets. This particular mod is absolutely broken with this weapon, which has the intrinsic perk to stun champions, strong against overload champions, but it seems to be good against all champions. So if you have it on, I mean, I'm not going to be able to show too much here, but definitely try it against champions. It is an absolute broke interaction at the moment, and something I just wanted to give a shout out to and mention. Another thing as far as power farming goes, and I have talked about this in a previous video, but I thought there was a little bit that I should add when talking about the new gear and new weapons. Now, in order to get the highest score, having all new gear, new weapons will increase your score just right off the top. You can also, as I've said before, equip new ornaments on top of already existing new gear. So if you have a new piece of gear, you can then turn another piece of new gear into an ornament that you can then slot on top of it. So as you can see here on my bond, this is the Tekis bond, probably saying that incorrectly, but I have the Last Disciple bond ornament on top of it. So essentially, this is counting towards my artifact when it comes to damage resist as double, but it also doubles your score when you're playing any portal activity. So if you're trying to play a lower level activity but get a A-tier score or an A-tier rank, this is another way that you can just boost your total score by simply having two things equipped on top of one another. So having all the armor and all the weapons will give you a boost, and then throwing ornaments on top of that armor will also give you another boost. Now, in talking with portal activities and the best and most efficient ways that you could be farming, and I'm just going to show this by heading into the solo playlist, which has still probably some of the best ways to farm. Caldera is really, really good. I actually prefer K1 Logistics. But if you go to your customized screen, you might see this on the top, your training. Now, obviously, everybody probably knows how to equip these mod, stat and bonus rank boosters. But if you complete your training, you'll be able to save them all. So instead of having to re-input them every single time, you will essentially have the exact same ones loaded up, so you never have to do it again. That'll save you a little time. Just by completing the training, it's very easy to do. The other thing is that you want to really only get your reward package to a B+. Now, there's a reason for this. If you can get it to a B+, so I'll just throw on a bunch of stuff right now, and you can complete the it's the bonus objective. So every one of these will have a bonus objective. Usually it's get kills and complete it in the right amount of time. Your B+ will essentially become an A rank reward just at the completion. So you can actually do things easier this way. You just have to make sure that you can get to B+. So I'll throw all these on as far as I can. I don't even know if I'll be able to get to B+ with an expert, but you can also, remember, throw on, if you have all new armor and weapons, the avant-garde modifier. So you can see here I'm only getting to C. So expert, way too low for me. But if I go to master, all of these have been unlocked, by the way. I can actually remove almost all of these mods, if it allows me to. Take that off, take that off. And as you can see, I'm at a little bit lower than a B. If I throw on, let's say, the avant-garde. Oh, that was already on. I'll keep that on. We'll throw on one challenge modifier. Let's see, an easy one. That's an easy one. We'll take this one as well. Throw on maybe a couple of these. A couple of these. I don't know why it's not going up high enough yet. A little bit higher. You want to be about B.5. So that last bar should be about half filled. So let's throw on one more. Let's throw on this. Now I can probably take off this one. Still not high enough. Maybe throw on this. That might be close enough for me to get there. But in any case, you just want to make sure that you complete the bonus objective, and a B+ will give you an A tier score. And that is probably the most efficient way to be farming out power at the moment, with also having all the ornaments and armor and new weapons and completing the training. Now, another thing I wanted to discuss in terms of the new playlist, again, for Crucible, Hardwired. I'll drop out of this really quick. Again, remember to access it through your Arms Week, just to be safe. Is that there are new mods. One of the new exotic mods gives you random things from getting a kill, so random, I think, elemental effects. One of those is the Fire Scythe. I can't remember what that's from, but if you have that mod on, even though there are no abilities in this playlist, no super, no special, you can still pick up the Scythe. It will still spawn on the right kill. You'll also see sometimes stasis effects happening. But another thing that is working is Banner of War. So if you get a melee kill, Banner of War will activate, and then every single punch after that will be a one-shot. So that still works in Hardwire. So just be on the lookout for that if you find yourself getting punched one shot by a Titan. Probably something most people are used to, but just something to keep in mind if you happen to see that and you're getting a little frustrated. Banner of War is working. Also, shout out for all the Titans out there who might want a leg up, though I'm sure you don't really need it. And one more thing, though I have talked about it in a previous video, for anybody who's looking for the new exotics and maybe has completed the campaign on one character, doesn't really want to complete the whole campaign on a second character, you can actually jump into the Civ with somebody who has already completed the campaign. Just have them bring you in, and you will be able to get the new exotics on the first completion of the Civ, even if you haven't done the campaign. That's for your second and third classes. I believe also if you haven't done the campaign at all and somebody does, you will still be able to get the new exotic that way. So just something I wanted to mention as well. Also remember, Zur arrives tomorrow, so hopefully we'll have a couple more interesting items available at him. Zur got a pretty big update. Remember that the mods on your Ghost also affect the stat bonuses that you might see on all of Zur's armor. So if you are building into one particular stat, I don't know if it works for everything, but make sure to have that equipped. You should see a change in the stats, something that I wanted to make mention of that I forgot to last week. Now just going to load into the tower really quick. Check out what Banshee 44 is selling today for your daily rolls. Also remember always to head over to Commander Zavala and pick up your weekly bonus rewards for some higher tier armor there and weapons if you're still on the power grind. And that is going to conclude all the information for today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful and informational. We'll just check out what Banshee 44 is selling really quick. And then I'd like to give a few shout outs to those who have contributed to the channel as of late. We have a False Promise, which can be enhanced. This one with Rampage, which is a great perk. Paracausal Fluid as an origin trait, and Ambitious Assassin. Not a bad roll for PvP. Auto rifles have been really good, especially in Hardwire at the moment. We have a Whispering Slab, also can be enhanced with Pugilist, Higher Ground, and also Paracausal Fluid. We have the Red Tape, also can be enhanced with 4 times the Charm and Headstone. This is actually a great roll on Scout Rifles. The Scout Rifles are in the meta at the moment for PvE. The Dark Ether Reaper final blows with this weapon periodically spawn Dark Ether charges. Charges can be detonated early with weapons fire or by coming into contact with them. Doing so refills this weapon from reserves. So I would actually pick this up. First time it's ever been sold at Banshee. We have the Legato 11. Also can be enhanced with Closing Time and Deconstruct. I always say Deconstructionist, but it's Deconstruct. We have a Farewell. Can't be enhanced with Moving Target and Thresh. And then we have a Just In Case, which also cannot be enhanced with Burst Guard, Flash Counter, and Collective Action. Worth picking those up. Remember, on the Focus Decoding page, I had a few questions about this for the Suros week that we had last week. If you are looking for a particular type of weapon or a particular make of weapon, go to the Focus Decoding page. As you can see here, it says Amalon weapons. This will also rotate daily, and there's a possibility it can be Suros, but I'm sure we'll have a Weapons Week affiliated with every single make of weapon at some point, so this is just a good place if you're looking to boost your damage to pick up a few of those weapons on occasion. And like I said, head over to Commander Zavala to pick up your weekly bonus rewards. And to conclude today's video, first of all, if you've watched to this point in the video, even though I didn't go and say hi to him today, leave a hashtag Archie down below. He is the best boy around. But also, give a shout out to SSJ Scoot, shout out to Very Sneaky, shout out to Kenny Conrad, to Richard Hartnett, to Steve Card, to Most Unknown, to Jay Talley, to Rabbidice, to Shadow of Death Sweden, to Chris Scott, to Plucky Disco, to Nomad, to Justin St. John, to C. John, one of our close friends, to DG Striker, another close friend of the channel, to Chip and Soda, to Rage Forever, another close friend, to Velvet Hammer, also a close friend, to Charlie Boy, who's also in the clan, to Sark Kamar, who's also a close friend of the channel. Thank you all so much. To Brizg Afus, to Ronald Johnson, to Zach Attack, to Aaron Batts, to Joe Kim Upling, to DJ Oros, very close friend of the channel, to Jade, to our longtime buddy Sinister, where would we be without him, the #1 buddy of the channel, to Real Daz, also one of our close friends, to Tinnitus Bat, also a very close friend, to Gecko, we shall play again very shortly, sir, to GA Nightmare, I got your friend request, thank you so much, to Deadpool, to Green Mason, to Dr. Squeaks and the MBZ Gamers, to Killer Ninja, to RKW, to Chris Caulfield, and to Dot Ryder. Thank you all so much for all your contribution on the channel as of late. Really appreciate everybody being here. Thanks so much for watching once more, and as always, I am Wilhelm Scream. We will see you next time. Tune in tomorrow for your Zur Day update. Little